Love, it has been good to me this time around. Things were bound to change when it was found. Sugar never tasted sweeter on my lips. My heart is now intact and I can find
Well, hello, good evening, and welcome to today's episode of the X-RAD show, the talk show that really does get you talking on the Xandermonium Network, live from New York City. I'm Xander Gibb.
And I'm Chet Martin from Freedom on Deck.
Oh, yes, sirree. On tonight's show, the hottest of topics, the white hot topics that no one else is prepared to tackle. And in part two, David Weissman from the Reactionary Times joins us. More to come in a mere moment. You can tweet us. Tweet these are on the X-RAD Facebook page. If you tweet us, we'll endeavor to respond to you. You can comment in the live feed around the video, and we will endeavor to include you in the conversation. Welcome back to the show. How is the world with you, sir?
I'm very good, Xander. I just wanted to mention before we get into all the hot topics, we had talked about this last week with Sadie Saucier being on Lee Elsey. Our big morning show, 200,000 listeners per day, and it's a big opportunity for her. Her interview's played tomorrow. So if anybody wants to listen to it, if Sadie's out there and she knows the certain time, I can't tell you the time, but Lee's on from 6 to 10. And, it's on WJJF FM radio, but you can listen to it on 949, that's the numbers, 949, newsnow.com. And you can either get the app or you can just listen to it live from the site. Sadie's going to be on tomorrow with Lee. It's a good interview. It's a good opportunity. Christian was in New London when all this happened. We're based out of New London. This is where we need to get to with her. We need to get her back in the spotlight because it's confusing to everybody what's going on. Her message is clear and concise. Her husband did nothing wrong. He made some mistakes. We know it wasn't the brightest thing to do, but at the same time, hey, Xander, why should somebody like this transgender that was excused by Obama be let out but not Christian?
I don't have an answer for you for that, but clearly in this country, in order to get any kind of care or clemency, one either has to be trans or mid-trans or a politician, and that is a concern for me because we have this continuum of a two-tier justice system going on, and us and them, the elites that get away with doing whatever they do, and those of us that are the common man in the street. Get sent away for periods of time when other people get to walk. I mean, on what plane of mentality does this Manning person get to walk?
It's a plane of insanity. I mean, let's be honest. This Manning character, whether you want to call him Chelsea or not, okay, let's call him Chelsea. He got excused by Obama. The guy let out top secret information that got in the hands of Al Qaeda. Okay, now we can put this into the fact that actually it got put in by WikiLeaks. Okay, that is true. So everybody that defends WikiLeaks, be careful because there is a dark side to WikiLeaks.
There is.
It was Chelsea Manning that released this information that got into the hands of Al Qaeda, and soldiers died because of what he released.
Right.
And he gets let go. Now I know he was in jail for I think it was about 3 years, does his full term, what's he getting back? He needs to get back. He has health conditions he needs taken care of that are not being taken care of in jail right now, and the family needs to be taken care of. For me, with Christian, and I'm just, I don't want to go off on a tangent about his case, but I really do believe it's more for me. It's about him being able to get out and take care of his family.
Yes.
I mean, my God, right now they're about to lose their home. She doesn't have a car. I mean, we need to help this woman.
We do.
We need to help this child. And let's be honest, Manning, he's getting his sexual operation taken care of. Why is that number one on the American people's minds?
But you know who's paying for that, don't you?
Me and you?
Yes, the taxpayers are paying for that, and I really object to that. But I have to make it clear, my objection is not to do with the fact that this person happens to be claiming to be trans, because I think that's a bit of a whitewash, if you ask me. That's the reason that Obama let this person out, because of this liberal ideology, that we should forgive this person because he is trans. But when you actually think about it in real terms, what this person is, it's the wrong TR word. This person is a traitor. This person is treasonous. And what they have done is put this country at risk. And now they're being let out scot-free, and will have medical stuff paid for, whilst Christian Chaussier still rots in a federal prison. And let's get this right, people. He took 6 selfies on a cell phone that were never disseminated. Hillary Clinton, 33,000 individual cases of mishandling classified information, and this bitch gets to run for president. Now, I would not usually be disrespectful towards any woman by calling him a bitch, but if you look in the dictionary under the word bitch, there is a picture of Hillary Clinton. She is the epitome of what a bitch is.
I agree 100%. Now, let's transition a little bit from a bitch to somebody that the left wing is totally walking on the grave of today. I'm talking about Roger Ailes.
Yes.
Okay, creator of Fox News. For all of us in the conservative media, he's an icon. Whether you like him or not, whether perhaps he had some inclusions with sexual harassment, I don't know about all that. It sounds fishy when it starts coinciding with Bill O'Reilly, and they tried to pay Sean Hannity for it, but Hannity was smart enough to fight back. But the thing about it is, Xander, the left attacked Ailes today. And when you attack Ailes, when he's dead, when he died, because he took a fall and he had blood in his brain and the whole nine, we know why it happened. When they attack him in that kind of way, it shows that there's a lack of God with the left. I mean, I'm not going to attack somebody when they're down. If Stephen Colbert, God forbid, and I'm not saying this to put a dark cloud over Colbert.
No.
If something happened to Colbert, Xander, I wouldn't attack him.
No, because
That's not what I would do. I may not say anything because I don't like him. I might keep my mouth shut. That's probably what I would do, right?
Yeah.
But I saw it on CNN where they were like, well, we have to remember that Roger Ailes, he had a controversy with the fact that he harassed women.
Allegedly.
I'm like, they would never do that to Bill Clinton.
No. No. And the missing word there is allegedly, because let's remember that none of this was proven. And the thing, the thing that really concerns me about all of this is that I never knew Roger, but I know a lot of people that knew him, and I'm not going to mention names. And female friends of mine who are really good looking that knew him said that he was just not like that. He wasn't that kind of person. And here's the thing for me. I'm not suggesting anything bad about him, but even if he was, isn't there some respect due for all that he did and the fact that he's died and he has a family and a wife and they're tramping on his memory today from doing those kind of things?
Well, isn't there some respect for the dead?
Not with liberals.
You know, he's not Ted Bundy, right? As far as I know. I mean, there were 3 or 4 women that said he called them like hot pants or something to that effect.
Right.
It's nothing like he was grabbing anyone by the rear end or anything like that. I mean, listen, if he did it, you know, I don't approve, but at the same time, I'm not going to attack the man. Xander, I saw things on Twitter that made my skin crawl.
Me too.
From the left when they were talking about Roger Ailes.
Actually blocked a few people today because of it. Because, you know, I don't know who said this first, but for me there is this point to be made, and that's whilst maintaining the courage of our convictions, we must remain compassionate. But liberals seem to be devoid of compassion, and that's a concern for me. Because, like you say, if Stephen Colbert, you know, God forbid, if they announced today that tomorrow that he died, I wouldn't be the bastard deserved it for what he said about Donald Trump. I would be sorry for him. Yeah, you know, he did bad things and said bad things, but we have to remember that at the end of the day, people are still people and deserve a level of respect. You know, if you can't give it to them in life, at least you've got to give it to them in death.
It always goes back to me with Dr. Michael Savage, and everybody out there listening to the show that knows Michael Savage, say it with me. Liberalism is a mental disorder.
Yes.
And that's exactly, you know, that is, I will say this about Savage, that's the perfect coined phrase for how the left is.
Right.
It's a mental disorder. They will run with anything, Xander, as long as it cuts you to the bone. It's fine. You know, it's like I was just saying, I'm not going to go after them in that kind of way. But they will do it to us. When we respond,
right,
as you've done, and you've gotten criticized for it, but all you're doing is defending your cause.
Yes.
And it's like, wait a second, so you can attack the president, or you can attack Roger Ailes, or you can attack anybody on the right side, and it's all well and good, but when Xander or anybody else challenges you, they're the bad guy.
I think part of the problem is that there is this kind of like do as I say, not as I do mentality, and that really concerns me. I got an email today. Chelsea Handler was suggesting that President Trump had a sexually transmitted disease, and did it hurt more in the morning or the afternoon? And I said, well, come on, like you really need to ask, because you've had so many sexually transmitted disease. Not only have they named a wing after you at the hospital, they bill you for taxes there. And I got people messaging me and saying, how dare you say that about Chelsea Handler, but how dare she say this about my president? You know, there has to be, if I'm not allowed to say this back to her, then she should not be able to trash my president. And I'm actually absolutely sick of it, because there's a war going on right now, and people don't realize it. And we sit there and, as conservatives, and we say nothing. But it's imperative that we stand up and say, I don't like that. That's not on. That's not good. That's not true. But most people are just not willing to do that. And that's a concern for me.
Well, Chelsea Handler is, I could say some things about her, but you might not want me to say them. You know, she's probably more concerned that her boyfriend 50 Cent got closer to Donald Trump than she ever will.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
so
let's
just put it that way. Chelsea, you're a very loose girl.
Yeah, let's lay it all out there, because this is the thing. Even I, Xander Gibb, have got a cable show, right? And this woman can't even get a cable show because she was fired from regular television because she was sleeping with her boss, and after the relationship ended, it fizzled out, and they didn't want she wasn't required there anymore.
Well, he didn't want her anymore.
No.
It's a good point. What is she? Where is her show right now? Is that on?
It's on Netflix. That's my point. Even Xander Gibb, even big fat mouthy Xander Gibb can get a cable show, but Chelsea Handler can't. What does that say to you, the viewing public? What does that say to you?
It's untalented. She's not funny. She's never been funny. Xander, I see these shows all the time. I was telling you about this one on True TV. And it's called Talk Show, the Game Show. The comedian that hosts it, and I can't think of his name right now, but I've actually seen him live. He's a bald, chubby, gay gentleman that I've heard him before do a stand-up. And I said, all right, I'll take a look. I'll see what it's all about. I go on it, Xander, the guest he has on, immediately they're attacking Ivanka Trump. And I'm like, forget it, I'm turning it off.
Right. I mean, you know, it's not that no one should ever say anything about the Trumps, but some of the things that are being said are really disrespectful, let's face it.
Well, but it's constant.
You know, when you're inferring...
You have nothing else to say.
Right. Because when you're inferring that you know, he's having or has had sexual relations with his daughter, you know, in real terms, if you suggested that about anybody else, you would be in court for that. Yeah, exactly. So me, Xander Gibb, as a comedian, if when Obama was in power, I suggested things about him and his daughter, I quite rightly would have been hauled over the coals. But you know, it's funny, Chet and I were talking about this before the show. You know, nothing happens to him for saying that. You know, nothing happens to Madonna for saying she wants to blow up the White House. Nothing happens to Snoop Dogg because he depicts the president being shot in the head. Nothing happens to Bow Wow, you little punk, saying you're gonna pimp out Melania Trump, the first lady. So all of these liberals get to say what the hell they like, but you even say a word to about Obama and you're a racist. Even if you say, I don't like your tie. Well, that's rather a racist statement to say about black men. No, I said his tie was shit. Not, excuse my French, I said his tie was crap. Not that he was the N-word. Let's face it.
It's so skewed, and it's so true. You know, last time you came on Freedom on Deck, it was Justin that brought it up, that Axl Rose, and who gives a crap about Axl Rose anymore, buddy? You're washed up. But he does a live show where he's taking basically a crap on Donald Trump when he's speaking to the audience. Axl, when have you ever been political? You know, it seems like this to me, Xander. They're using this to get themselves back in
Exactly. Exactly right. This guy the other day we talked about him. I can't even think. You know, I'd not even heard of his name. You know, I'm a music fan. You know, from day one, and I'd never even heard of this guy. Oh, his work with so and so. Who cares? And he says, I don't want Trump supporters to come to my concert. I'm like, don't freaking worry. We weren't coming anyway. Why would we want to come? You know, this highlights something big for me because it's one of my pet peeves with regards to celebrities trash talking politicians, because we don't want to hear about what your politics are. We want to see what you're doing with regards to your singing or your acting or whatever. And there are commercial implications to the fact that people that are considered to be celebrities over politicize. And you know, I have no sympathy for them. If you yesterday I shared something on Twitter. You know, even SNL said that they wouldn't employ Rosie O'Donnell to play Steve Bannon because she would be doing it from a position of hate. And I thought, well, that's absolutely deserve it. You know, and in a private conversation with me yesterday, she said, I really don't care because I'm rich. And I thought, that says so much.
Oh, well, like Alec Baldwin's not doing Trump at a position of hate. Listen, you know, it's so ridiculous. You know, I actually saw this guy the other day, Xander. I meant to tell you about this. He was just a Trumper, a Twitter Trumper. And there was this small-time celebrity. This guy actually played Genghis Khan in Night at the Museum. You remember that movie?
Yes.
And this guy, that's the only role he's ever had. He has a blue check mark, right? And he's ragging on Donald Trump. And this guy's just like, okay, blue check mark. And Xander, he trolled this guy for about 2 hours, just calling him blue check mark. And it was hilarious because the guy is so thin-skinned, like every liberal is, he couldn't handle it. And it was fabulous. You had to see it.
Your co-host is in the live feed, saying that he can finally see the live feed again. Big up to Justin. I'm glad you can watch it. I'm sorry for all of you that have not been able to watch the show at certain times, but you know, Facebook have got this political ideology that they want to silence conservatives, and the way that they do that is they have people messing with the show and making it look like the video doesn't work, and that, you know, it's because I'm unprofessional and I'm doing it wrong. But you know, the fact is that you know, Mark Zuckerberg, the owner of Facebook, is the biggest libtard hard walking, and has made so much money from selling your information that he's now a multi-freaking trillionaire and has the audacity to want to control my free speech. So bring it, bitch. That's all I've got to say. Oh, I said bitch twice tonight. I've gone over my bitch quota.
You did. You gotta own that.
Are you still in Twitter jail?
Well, Facebook jail, yeah. I'm in Facebook jail till Saturday.
Right, and are we having not a coming out party, because, we know you're not coming out, but as in coming out of Facebook jail?
Yes, I'll be coming out Saturday.
Right, so we'll be having, maybe we should have a 30-minute Facebook Live party just to stick it in their faces to say,
Lord, we could do that.
Screw you.
Be very careful right now what I say.
Yeah, well, you don't have to say it. They can ban me. I have more than one account, so the show will go on. You can follow me on my other page if you'd like to. It's called Zanny G. Feel free to follow me, so you will be aware of when the show is on. If they do kick me off this actual page. So I want to change the direction just a little bit, because someone else who has really bothered me today. Oh, actually, just before I do that, I better say hey to people in the live feed, because they get really pissed when I don't say hello to them. So going all the way back down, hello to Raymond. Hi to Chet Martin, who's in the live feed, but is not allowed to comment right now because Facebook are fascists. Hey Flower. Hi to CV. Welcome to Mark over there in the United Kingdom. Hope you're doing well, dude. Hope you're taking care of my niece. Hi to Jim. Hey to Connie. Hope you're feeling better. Hi to Gina. Hey to Thomas. Welcome. Hey, that's my co-host from Monday. Hey to Samuel. I hope you're doing good. Hi to Sadie. Hi Cassie. If you up, big kisses. Hello to Dave. Hi to we already said hi to Justin, but hi again. Hi to Shyster. And I think that is everybody. I'm out of breath now. I need a drink. But I would like to jump into another topic, basically. And that's, if I say flip-flopper, what does that bring to your mind?
John Kerry.
Do you mean John McCain?
Well, John McCain too. Yeah, okay. John Kerry and John McCain.
Okay. So after President Trump complained of being treated unfairly, and quite rightly so, by the media, Senator John McCain jabbed him in an interview today. He said, well, first of all, I've been worse treated than President Trump has. Let's make sure we know about that, McCain said lightly during an appearance on Morning Joe. The senator was referring to his 5 years plus ordeal as a prisoner of war. Mr. Trump questioned McCain's heroism during the campaign when he declared, I like people who weren't captured. I wonder, should we ask John McCain's first wife how much of a hero and how badly treated she thinks he was? On Wednesday, the president said in a speech, look at the way I've been treated lately, especially by the media. No politician in history, and I say this with great surety, big league, has been treated worse or more unfairly. McCain's rejoinder was reminiscent of the flood of response to Trump on social media, many of which were quick to point out to politicians who were assassinated as examples of those of being bad treated. But I think that was a bad example for them to use. Of being treated more unfairly. Now, there's no doubt that right now that the media has a hard-on for Donald Trump. Everything's about Donald Trump. Everything he does is bad. Everything he does is wrong. Everything he's ever done is bad and wrong, and it's getting a bit boring, really.
It's tough, Justin used to always say, he can't trust a man who can't raise his hands.
You just said that in the live feed. That's really, yeah. That's
right
really funny.
I'm not, listen, and I'm not, listen, the guy he's a POW. I'm not making.
Yeah.
Okay, obviously, that part of his life, I think, is different from what he's doing now. John McCain is a fraud.
He's a
John
total
McCain
fraud.
has been a fraud from the get-go. John McCain ran against Barack Obama to lose, and we all know that he was put in there by the globalists to run against Obama so Obama could win. I mean, that's just a fact. The guy couldn't even use social media when he ran against Obama. He embarrassed himself on David Letterman, and he brought us the 8 years. Now, not him himself, but he helped bring it. Now, he's so upset at Trump because of the statement that Trump had made last year. I don't buy that. I think that John McCain is a big-time globalist that sees the advances that Trump is making as a threat. Just the same kind of way that Obama would view it as a threat. Let's be honest, John McCain is the problem with the Republican Party.
Yes.
Not John McCain himself, but the ideals of John McCain is the problem with the Republican Party. He's a Democrat, Xander.
Right. Well, he's totally a rhino, and the thing is, for me, don't purport yourself to be perfect and wonderful and the best, father and husband in the world when we haven't forgotten what you did to your first wife. Your wife waited for you to come back, and then you went off and hooked up with some millionaire's daughter. So tell us, John, what attracted you to millionaire Cindy? Cough, cough. It's wonderful that he was a war hero, but does any of that detract from the fact that he's a complete a-hole? And these commentary of late, you see all these people that there's a war on, and the thing is that the President Trump is not only being attacked by the Democrats, but he's also being attacked all the time by these never Trumpers that haven't got over the fact that he won the nomination and he won the election. He's the president for the next 4 years, of hopefully the next 8 years. And if you don't like it, these people that brag that they voted for Hillary Clinton, I want them kicked out of the GOP, because if you're a Republican and you voted for Hillary Clinton, you are not a Republican.
John McCain said he was voting for Hillary Clinton. You remember that?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, he did. He did. Him and Lindsey Graham, both of them. Now, at least with Lindsey Graham, we're starting to see a little bit of semblance of loyalty.
Right.
I've seen him say that Trump
yes, I would agree.
Right to fire James Comey, and at least I'm seeing that now. The two of him and John McCain can go back in the closet together, if you know what I mean, Xander. I mean,
yeah. Well, I wonder. I think we should get Lindsey Graham's boyfriend on the show and see what his politics are.
John McCain?
No. Now,
well, we all wonder about those two, but
I don't think John McCain is. There's no way John McCain is gay, because his arms don't work well enough to be a homosexual. And I won't say any more on that.
I don't think his arms need to work.
Subject.
But, let's not go there. The problem is that right now Donald Trump is dealing with enemies from all sides. Right? I mean, we know that. And I have an issue with a lot of the appointees. I have an issue with Jeff Sessions and his appointee of Deputy Attorney General, Rod Rosenstein,
right,
who actually had an official position in Obama's DOJ. And now what's happened with the appointee? Where are we going here?
Yeah.
Donald, talk about draining the swamp. Drain your own swamp.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just my own opinion.
The worry is about the level of impartiality, and that was exactly the problem with Jim Comey, because Jim Comey couldn't show any level of impartiality. And the moment that I keep wanting to call her Loretta Lynch walked on that tarmac and got on that plane and had an ex parte meeting with Bill Clinton. The appearance of impropriety, they should have been ended there. They should have got somebody else involved, an impartial special prosecutor. And by the way, Mr. Trump, I know you watch the show. It's not too late to do that. They should have stopped that right away, because there was an appearance reports. There was impartiality, and there was an appearance of impropriety. I watched L.A. Law. I watch Law and Order. There should not be an appearance of impropriety. And don't tell me you talked about grandkids on that plane, because I'm sure you did, but I'm sure the conversation went along the lines of, well, if you mess with my wife, I'll have to kill your grandchildren. So, sue me. Sue me, Bill.
Well, I don't know if it's going to happen, but the Senate Judiciary did ask for all memos from James Comey having to do with Donald Trump, having to do with Barack Obama, and they actually asked for anything that had to do with Hillary's emails and a few other things, too. So I don't know whether that's going to be put forward. There's a deadline put out for May 24th. It's not being talked about right now, but it has been put out to the FBI. Will the FBI swing it? Is there something where Donald Trump was smart enough to fire James Comey and retrieve all these memos? It's a lot of
I don't think Donald
hyperbole right now.
I don't think Donald is stupid. And this talk about this tape. Why shouldn't this is the thing. I think it's a very pertinent thing if he records conversations that go on in his office, because let's face it, how easy would it
recorded, Xander,
how easy would it be for someone to say, he touched me, he asked me for this or that, and then he can say, we got the tape, I never said that at all. They're coming at him from all angles, and it wouldn't surprise me, because there is an ideology out there that what's her face was a plant, Monica Lewinsky. Because why would you freeze the dress?
I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, was she a plant? Was everybody a plant? I mean, how many people did Bill Clinton slip the hoo-ha to?
Yeah. Ask Hillary. Ask Hillary, because she was threatener in chief. She's the one that went threatening people that had said that they had been, touched improperly or even raped by Bill Clinton. But it's interesting. The president said, I think it was today or yesterday. Nobody asked for a special prosecutor with all of the things that were going on with crime when the Clintons were in the White House. I mean, don't you think it's hilarious that on the last day she stole so many things from the White House, saying, "Oh, I thought they were mine." What does this woman have to do to get arrested? It's.
Well, why would anybody cross the mafia? It's the Clinton mafia. I mean, look at the laundry list of names of people that have died.
Yep.
That have dealt with the Clintons.
Seth Rich.
Do we have to talk about Seth Rich?
We can talk about Seth Rich. We got like 3 minutes, two and a half minutes before David comes on.
All right, Xander, I'll talk about Seth Rich. He was killed by the Clintons.
There you go. Purely and simply. And if you have a problem with Chet saying that the Seth Rich was killed by the Clintons, you can email Chet at Chet Martin at idon'tgiveacrap.com, and you can get me there too. I think Justin's got an account as well, hasn't he? At idon'tgiveacrap.com.
Yeah, he definitely does.
He does. Well, David's going to be joining us any minute. David Weissman is a writer and broadcaster, and he writes for Politichicks, even though he's a politi dude, and he also writes for Reactionary Times, of which our good friend Julio Rivera is the editor in chief. I thought it was editor in chef, actually, and I thought he was going to come and cook for me, but no, it wasn't. It definitely wasn't going to happen. Raymond saying, yes, he was. I truly believe what Chet just said. Absolutely. Jim said, or Podesta. Let's have a look. Justin said, I was going with the appointees, not with the elected officials. My fault. Well, is that a confession, Justin, or what? CV Burton. CV says, Robert Plant is a plan. Okay. Dave says, I used to have a cannon, but I sold it to a Civil War reenactor. Was he upset when he found out it was a camera he was getting with these dodgy descriptions on eBay? Hey, Joe, we didn't get to say hi to you earlier. I hope you are good. What else can we share with you? Great point. Justin says, why do we need to consistently recycle politicians? Now, I have a theory. I don't know whether you will agree with this or not, Chet, but I think that senators should have term limits, because why should people like Bernie Sanders have never had a job in their life before being a politician and now be a millionaire? I mean, I know he sold his nomination to Hillary for a summer house, but why should that be the case? Why should politicians end up being rich?
Justin said, why do we have to recycle politicians? I'd have to ask whether he means, whether we're giving them too many term limits or we're talking about them too much. I think the reason we talk about them so much is because we don't have any term limits. We're going to constantly talk about John.
To the show, how is the world with you? You're live with myself and Chet from Freedom on Deck. How are you doing?
Doing well. How are you guys?
Hey, Dave.
Wonderful. It's a bit hot here. What's the weather like in Israel?
Very hot in more ways than one.
Yes, it's very hot here too. I don't know what's just happened with the feed, but it just went really dark. There we go. We're back.
I see that too.
We're back. I look like a Pakistani woman with facial hair for a minute. I know that wasn't a racist comment before you ask. So welcome back to the show, David. It's been a very interesting week in politics. But I want to jump right in. You shared some stuff. You wrote an article this week where you said the Israeli media were fake news. And my first response was Cal surprise. But I'd like you to expand upon that and tell us a little bit more about why you think that.
Well, it seems like Israel media has done a lot of what CNN and MSNBC is doing. They're reporting without any facts. Like the latest thing is with the classified information that Trump sent to show Russia, which obviously is fake news. For one, Israel are all, automatically said this. Israel source, no research, no nothing. And I mean, they didn't say it was, New York Times reported, but there was no indication that hey, we're looking into it. So they automatically assumed, and so many Israelis are freaking out over this thing, and then later on we found out that it was a source reported, not Israel. So the more I learn about this, Israeli media tends to be a lot more liberal than, just like CNN and MSNBC. And it feels like they are eyeing on President Trump over every tiny little thing. And every time there's discussions about the U.S. Embassy, Israeli media is saying, "Oh, he's not moving in the embassy." That'll be the headline, right?
Right.
Like the main headline. And then when you actually read the article, then you'll see the article, it hasn't been official. And I'm like, what is going on here? If anybody should know better about fake news, it should be Israel. But sadly, that's not the case.
But has there actually been a final word on? You see, because Trump's only been doing this job for 5 minutes, so we have to give him a little bit of slack. But I do have to say, I will be very disappointed if they don't move the American embassy to Israel. That would be a concern. But don't we have to give him a little bit more time than 100 and whatever days?
I mean, it's a huge move. I mean, you have so much to consider. Security, you got money, time, resources, all this stuff to consider, and the impatience of Israelis is showing really thick. And I know Israel is sick and tired of false promises, but I mean, come on, he's only been in 100 days. After a few years, okay, that is okay. What's going on here? I mean, you got to be realistic about this move. It's Israel, and he hasn't even set foot in Israel yet, and
right.
he's getting so much backlash about it. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised because you know what? I'm not moving it, because the treatment that he's been getting lately from the Israeli people. But
David,
he's been following through. I fully believe that he will follow through in this move.
David, is there any concern on your part of Donald Trump's administration just this week was talking about possibly starting a NATO for the Arab world, which would be monitored by Saudi Arabia, to be an Arabic NATO, which I don't really understand what the point of that all is. And have you looked into that at all?
I read about it too, and I'm not concerned. that's what President Trump is trying to get the Arab nations actually participate in a war against terror. Whether that happens from Saudi Arabia, only time will tell.
Absolutely. Let me just ask you this, though. Do you not think that there is an ideology with the liberal media that they want to kind of work on us by saying things like, to those of us that are either Jewish or of Jewish descent and happen to identify as conservative, don't you think they're working on it? They're saying, oh, he's not going to do it, he's not going to do it, because he hasn't done it immediately. Because one thing that we've identified this week is that, we don't set Mr. Trump's agenda for when things are gonna be done. He does that, and I think that that's absolutely fair. But the liberal media would have us believe that because he's not doing it on our time scale, that he's not going to do it.
Exactly, that's exactly what it is. I mean, he has so many things he has to worry about. I mean, first things first, he has to focus on America. America is such a mess after the Obama administration, so. That's, his priority is the United States itself, trying to get out of debt, trying to build up communities, and, so many problems in there. And he's really saying, build this, he's the president of the United States, not the president of Israel. And Israelis have to think that, and I've been in a lot of discussions and groups, and people have this, what's in it for me attitude. I'm like, are you serious? Really? No, he's the president of the United States. I do think that Donald Trump should not have made that promise of moving to the embassy. I think that was probably his main mistake in the campaign. But I know other candidates were, and he probably felt like, my wife actually said this, she said, and I agree with her, that he probably felt obligated that he had to move it because all the other candidates were moving it, or bowing to it. So, but I think that's the only mistake that he made. But he said he'll do it, he'll follow through, just like you said. He has his own timetable that he has, so much to do. It's not an easy job, and people need to have patience.
I think. Go ahead.
Okay, David. I don't know if you pay attention too much to Fox News, but Monday on Fox and Friends, Judge Napolitano was on, and he said that Antonin Scalia had told him before he passed a few months prior that Barack Obama's administration was spying on the judicial court, also spying on Antonin Scalia himself. We all know Antonin Scalia had passed away in a nefarious kind of way. So we know that the Obama administration also tried to influence the last election in Israel. Do you still worry at all about Barack Obama himself?
Of course, definitely. I mean, he has this shadow government, and obviously he's still speaking, causing a ruckus in what's going on. It's still causing excitement with the people. And, it's not like he's saying, let's come together as a country, give Trump a chance. No, he's been doing the complete opposite. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he's still trying to influence in the Middle East area as well. I mean, heck, he lent $7 billion to Iran, after all.
The thing is for me, and the thing that really bothers me about all this shadow government building business isn't this treasonous? If you're trying to overthrow the government, isn't that a treasonous act? I mean, when I heard that Valerie, what's her name? Valerie Muslim lady girl. Valerie Jarrett had moved into his house. I thought, are they playing, two's company, three's a crowd, or what? I mean, why else would she be moving in his house apart from to set up camp for this shadow government? But it's a huge concern for me because he's obviously still working with these infiltrators that are still in his cabinet. And I get very infuriated when people say, oh, I should get rid of everybody. So if he fires everybody right away, how is he supposed to run the country? This is going to be a systematic draining. And anybody out there that thinks that this is something that can be done overnight, then you run for president next time and you see how hard it is even to run a campaign. But in fairness, I think, this is just, my kind of pipe dream. But I think that eventually Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama, the truth is going to come out about all the dishonesty and the things that they have done. And they'll both be incarcerated for this. Now, is this is a pipe dream, David, or do you think it's a possibility?
I think it's a possibility. I kind of like what with all stupid, ridiculous impeachment investigation, be careful, because they might find stuff on Obama and Hillary, just like what you said. And the thing about it is, why, they're trying to do this with no evidence of any collusion, no evidence of anything they're accusing them for, but with Obama and Clinton, there was evidence. Where were they when all that happened?
Right.
And you're right about the transitioning. When I was deployed in Afghanistan 2 years, we had incoming units, when we switched units, it takes time to transition from one unit to the other unit, and then even when the main body of that unit leaves, you still have people from the previous unit still there. And it is ridiculous. I mean, the liberals and Democrats are acting like children.
Right.
I mean, grow up.
Yes, absolutely. I totally...
Hey, Xander, I just wanted to say something that Justin said in the feed. And this is interesting. He said, how about the fact that there was a bill passed today that cuts down on the amount of teaching in the schools about the Muslim religion?
I've not heard of that.
I didn't hear anything about that.
Are you saying they want to teach...
Well, we'll have to look into that, won't we?
Are you saying they want to teach more or they want to teach less?
Teach less.
Right. Well, I don't think that is a bad thing, because there is a concern with regards to Muslim indoctrination. I don't want my niece going into school and being part of Muslim prayers. That is not acceptable. If your child is a Muslim and you want them involved in Muslim prayers, then it's very simple. Send them to a Muslim school. But apparently that's racist to say that.
David, is an indoctrination in America in the schools for, well, not just for the Muslim religion, but as far as CAIR and all these different organizations that are connected, and we know they're connected to the Muslim Brotherhood and ultimately connected to Hamas. How dangerous is this? And is that happening in Israel?
It's very dangerous. It's extremely dangerous. And just look at what Hamas is doing to children in Gaza. And they recently had elections which Hamas didn't win in the quote-unquote West Bank. But yeah, it's extremely dangerous. And if it keeps it up, expect more lone wolf attacks, expect more terrorism. I mean, I saw that New York had a terror attack with the car ramming. I mean, it was extremely dangerous.
Absolutely, because there was an incident today. Chet and I were talking about this before the show. That had similar traits to the terror attacks that had happened with buses and cars before, where people were mowed down and killed in New York City, and in the center of Times Square. And Chet was making the point. Well, I'll let you make your point. I'm not going to make it for you, Chet. But fire away.
Well, the point was that the media came out and immediately said that he was a drunk driver and that he had previous drunk driving accidents. Well, they gave him an alcohol breathalyzer and they gave him the whole nine. And he survived, unfortunately.
All right.
He was not drunk. So now they're trying to pigeonhole it on synthetic marijuana. Now, the guy plowed into a group of over 20 people, and Mayor De Blasardio, as Xander likes to call him, immediately came out and said that it wasn't a terrorist act. Well, anytime I hear about a car going into a group of people and plowing into them, I immediately think Islamic terror. So we're going to see where this all unfolds. But for me, I'm leaning towards that, and I don't care that his last name was Rojas.
Rojas, well, that's not a kind of like, it's not the Irish Rojas, is it,
No, it's Spanish Rojas.
Yeah, I see. I see. I see. Well, I want to do just a quick experiment. So if you're in the live feed right now, I want you to, we're going to do a very quick poll. If you would like to see Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama in jail, click the share button now. So if you want to see Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama in jail for their crimes, click the share button now. Because I think they've got an aversion to the share button. I think they think it's gonna cost them some money to press it. Because no one's pressing it. Just press the damn button.
If you're not clicking the share button, we're assuming that you want Hillary Clinton as president in 2020.
Yes, exactly.
Uh-oh.
So click that button now. So just in the time we've got left, David, I want to get your opinions on the fact, as you probably know, Roger Ailes died today, ex-head of Fox News. And there's been some pretty nasty commentary about him on social media, which is kind of concerning. Because obviously none of the things that were alleged against him were proven. You know, that I can't even think of her name, the woman that left Fox and had all that to say and is now with Megyn Kelly. You know, she obviously used that as a leg up for her career. But whoever hears her name, now she's gone to MSNBC. So maybe that is punishment in itself with the level of obscurity, even though she's probably getting paid more. So what do you make of this level of response from liberals today?
Well, I think it's disgraceful. I mean, you said a key word, alleged. So, I mean, it's not proven, for one. And they don't think about what the family is going through. The family just lost father, husband. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, can't the family have some peace? What they're going through? I mean, enough is enough.
It is. It is, absolutely. I mean, some of the things that I've read today on social media, people saying things like, oh, wow, you know, the devil finally got it right this time, taking one of his own. And I'm just like so taken aback by this. And, you know, Chet made a good point earlier. If this had been Stephen Colbert, I don't think, you see, Republicans don't react in this way. You don't see Republicans, rioting and looting and, fighting with people at protests and things like that. You know, there is, are you ready to say it, Chet? Liberalism is a mental disorder. You see,
listen, I could say it like this. Listen, Jimmy Carter got cancer, right? He recovered. Now, if I wanted to be controversial, I could say couldn't happen to a better guy.
Yes, you could. I just have to interject.
And I just did.
Yeah, I just have to interject very quickly. Justin says, talking fake news. Sorry, guys. It was ruled by the Supreme Court. It was a fake. What was fake?
Okay. Sorry, Justin. Maybe I misunderstood.
There you go. Okay. And Dave wants me to say China! You see, this is the interesting thing, because everybody suggests that Donald Trump doesn't have a sense of humor, but I think he would laugh at that. You know, at least my impersonation and my commentary about him is not nasty. It's funny. Maybe I need to work on my Bill Clinton impression a little bit and basically, talk about, I never had sexual relations with that woman. And when I was on the tarmac and Loretta Lynch came on the plane, we talked about our grandchildren. Only hers would be dead. So moving swiftly on. So I think we can all agree to disagree that it was, it wasn't a nice thing to react that way today.
Totally agree. Wasn't nice.
No, it's not nice. But here's the whole thing. The media is promulgating the idea that Donald Trump is in cahoots with Russia. There's no evidence. And what we have to do is really pay attention to the facts.
Right.
Because the facts don't support what they're saying.
Yes.
When you have a nutcase like Maxine Waters out there calling for impeachment over nothing. Okay, listen, Maxine, let's let this investigation happen. But she's so demonic and evil and stupid, by the way. Stupidest woman I've ever seen in the Senate. I mean, bottom line, I can't even believe this woman got elected twice.
What was it she said about Putin was trying to invade Korea? Yeah, that's right, Maxine.
Yeah, Korea. Where
I would
big time of problems over there.
I would go so far as to say that Maxine Waters' wig is cleverer than she is. I mean, talk about dumb as a box of hair. I interviewed a box of rocks once, and it was more intelligent than Maxine Waters. Let's hope people see through this woman and actually vote her out. Because did you know she's only put 3 bills through all the time she's been a senator? Did you know that? 3 bills.
No, I didn't know that.
Three bills. So there you go, Maxine. We'll be investing in your wig line.
David, why do you think, I want to ask David this, why do you think liberal Jews hate themselves so much?
Well, the summer people, I mean, I actually did an article about it. I mean, when our people, saw all the miracles that God did right in front of their face, many of them still went and worshipped an idol. Right after that, very stubborn and stupid and impatient. And, that's still today, stubborn, stupid, and impatient.
You actually missed a very wonderful opportunity for comedy there, because you should have said, because their mothers were. Boom, boom.
You know what I think it was?
What?
I think, and I don't, listen, I have Hebrew blood, so don't get upset at me. I think a lot of the old Jews in America are still hung up on what happened in Germany, and anytime they see any type of atrocity going on, they go back to that, right? So they're still hung up on that, and they still say to themselves when they see Syria or any of these atrocities that are happening, we have to bring everybody in. But there's a different ideology there.
Right.
It's not the same damn thing.
No.
I mean, David, and I'll ask you this: do you somewhat agree with me there?
Sure. There's a huge difference. I mean, there's a huge difference between what happened in the Holocaust and what's going on in Syria. And that's the thing. They won't just go with their feelings. They don't go with facts.
Yes, because facts don't care about your feelings, as our good friend Ben Shapiro would say. But if you want to know about Jewish stuff, you don't just have to ask David, because I'm Jewish by birth. My mother was a Jew.
Oh,
so
okay. All right.
so you're in.
Knew that.
Oy vey, you're in good. You're absolutely in good company. But unfortunately, we are out of time. Thanks to our guest David Weissman, our Israeli correspondent. Tell people where they can find you, David, and find out more about what you're doing.
Okay, well, you can find me on Facebook, David Weissman, at Twitter, at David M. Weissman, and I write for the Times of Israel. I also write for Reactionary Times, Real Side of Messina, and Israel's Voice. And you can also find me right here, same that time, same that channel on X-RAD.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us, David. Have a great weekend, and as it's already Shabbat where you are, Shabbat Shalom, my friend.
Thank you very much. You guys have a good Shabbat as well.
Take care, David. Speak to you soon.
God bless, Dave.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
That was David Weissman. Make sure you follow him, find out what's going on, and see what he's writing this week. Thank you to my wonderful co-host, Chet Martin from Freedom on Deck. Tell people where they can find you and tell us who's on the show this weekend.
Well, you can always find me on Xrad pretty much every week. We'll find out if that's going to be happening soon.
We will.
Find us on freedomondeck.com, and at freedomondeck.com you can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. You can also listen to us every Sunday from 3 to 5 on 949. Those are on deck.com. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter from 3 to 5. And Xander, this week we have, everybody knows him as FedEx Guy. Now, his name is Matt Urin. He was the guy that saved the American flag from being burned in Iowa.
Right, yes, I remember that.
And it's going to be a big show this weekend.
Absolutely, so make sure you check it out. Chet will be sharing the deets, and he'll be able to share it on Facebook this week because he's getting out of jail. So thank you so much, Chet, and we will speak to you again very soon.
Thanks, Xander.
Thanks a lot, buddy. Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care.
That was Chet Martin from Freedom on Deck. Make sure you check them out this weekend for their show on Sunday, 3 to 5. It's a 2-hour show, and catch the details on the Freedom on Deck Facebook page or at freedomondeck.com. We are out of time. Thanks to everyone in the live feed. Thanks for joining us. Click that share button. It costs nothing. We will see you tomorrow. I love you all. Bye-bye. Sugar never tasted sweeter on my lips. My heart is now intact, and I can find no rips. This is love, yeah, love. Never known true love before. Seen so many counterfeits that left me on the floor. This is love, yeah, love. All will come to go to waste. Time you cannot know the bounds, and your us don't dictate.